Sinalo, thanks so much for your time. Obviously ahead of a pretty big game, but you have gained in so much in terms of experience with South Africa and having had the opportunity to play in semis and finals. Do you feel as part of that experience, part of the team?
Yeah, I think the first one was in 2023, obviously in Cape Town. And obviously, if you know my story, you know that I was freshly out of rehab at that time. So it was kind of finding my feet. But if I look at it now, I think I play like a pinnacle role within the setup. More like a quiet entry. I feel like I'm more like on the back trying to push everyone forward. I think I always want everyone never to get left behind, and I prize on that.
There's a couple of things I picked up from that answer. First of all, let's talk about being that voice behind the stumps, basically. Some wicketkeepers talk a lot, some talk less, some are more sledgers than necessarily motivators. What do you class yourself as behind the stumps?
I always want to feed into my teammates. You'll never hear me directing it at any, but unless I can see like your weaknesses. But if anything, it's never like to stay there. It's if I feel like Aya should go fuller or more, I'll go in Vernac. Same way, Kapi, if I see something, I'll go in Afrikaans. But it's always to push my teammates, and I feel like if my energy is low, you can kind of pick it up. So I always prize myself on always being high up there in energy, because that actually allows me to play the game more freely. I'm in my comfort if my energies are high. Yeah.
I feel like also over the years you've almost become more vocal behind the stumps.
Yeah.
Is that just comfort levels now, being able to be yourself within the team?
Yeah, and I think it's also trust amongst the bowlers and trust amongst my teammates. It goes a long way. You might think that you should be open and honest from the get-go, but I think it's the relationships you've built on and off the field. And I think if I can just think of anyone, I could just invite them for coffee and it will be easy chats. But I think for me, I've prided myself on just being there. I'm not really vocal off the field, funny enough. I'm more to my own. But on the field, if I see something, we're at that point where we're comfortable enough to say, listen, I picked this up, and it just goes that way.
You spoke about your being out of rehab. You've been very open about your journey.
Yeah.
Some people would be more open about their journey and others not so much. Some people keep it to themselves. Why was it important for you to be a bit more open about it?
The first thing I learned was to keep what I have to give it away. For me to remain sober, I always have to give it away. And I think us as athletes, we don't speak much of it because I think we do suffer a lot. And my exit out of thinking too much was alcohol. For me not to think too much, I thought, let me go have a drink, which turned into a bender, which turned into why did I do that? Like, why did I do that? And me talking about it is to say, like, it's okay. No one's mad, no one's angry, but it's okay to seek help. And I think it took me a while to actually say, okay, I'm gonna go in. I think it took me like over a year. Some people think it was just a decision like this, but it was just a build up until I got to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. But what I learned inside there is like, for me to keep what I have, I continuously have to give it away.
It's an inspiring journey, and you've always been very open about it. I know we've spoken about it, and I'm pretty sure you would have inspired others to go and actually seek that help. And then at the same time, you're obviously trying to maintain your standards within as a professional athlete. Talk to us about developing skills, in particular as a keeper, and how important that is, and how you've developed over the years.
I always say, like, when I got out, it was more like literally starting from ground zero. I didn't know what being a professional athlete actually was, because now it's like, whoa, okay, so I don't have my vices. That is good. So now mental health is also a big thing. I had to get that right, my thinking right, because I didn't believe I belonged there. And then obviously psychology sessions whereby I was like, oh, I actually do. And I think what Coach Hilton did very well is he gave me the opportunity and got me the help. Most coaches would be like, go find the help and still come back. But he was like patient enough to say, we'll get there. And then when Mandla came in, it was more of the thing of, this is how you're going to do it. Because he asked me, do I really want this? And I was like, yeah. Then he's like, okay, cool, let's get to work. And I mean, he's been here for what, 16, 17 months? And in that time, I've learned what a professional athlete is. Even when you don't want to do it, you kind of have to. For me, basics has been literally my bread and butter. If my basics are not good, I can't go and do any performances, because how can you catch the ball if you don't have the basics? That's what I've really focused on over the last maybe 6-7 months, and tied in with me believing in my skill.
For a long time, South Africa had one of the most successful wicketkeepers in Trisha Chetty, and there almost seemed to be a hole left at one point when people were starting to think, all right, well, who's going to be the next keeper? She was injured in 2018 at the World Cup as well, which didn't help from South Africa's point of view. Now, you've been in that role for such a solid time, but you've also got Karabo Meso coming through as a youngster, who is a keeper many talk about. How important is it having almost an understudy that you know you can almost trust, and it is someone who's got a lot of talent?
You know, I'll always have regrets about the Chets one, because I never actually learned more than I could have. Because a lot of times the competition in it, you forget to still got to learn from the other one. And I'm fortunate enough that she's at the Lions, so I can still talk back and forth, but it's different to have her at the Lions than in camp. And I always say to KB, is like, we are together. Whoever the coach decides is out of our control. What we can control is literally showing up each and every single day. And I'm very big on, I always tell her, build trust with your bowlers, because that's gold. I'm in my 30s. I'm that way.
None of us are getting any younger, just letting you know.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s, so I'm saying to her, listen, I'm not going to be here forever, but let's work together. Let's keep uplifting each other, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. And then by the time I'm out of here, you don't have any questions that you want to ask me. And also, don't call me. Jokes, you can. But like, for me, I want to leave her with something that she can hone. Is like, that's what I learned from Jeff. But this is also my own identity. Trish had her own identity. I have mine. She has to have her own, or else she'll always try to be someone who she's not.
Well, Trish never wore a helmet up to the stumps, did
Oh
she?
no, I don't know how she does that. Oh my gosh, I do not know. I don't know what happened that she started wearing a helmet. But no. Even at training and stuff, I was like, wait a minute, helmet on. Now you can bowl.
Yeah, and I can imagine why.
Yeah.
Keeping to Shibna Ishmael now again, getting that opportunity again. What's that like?
I love it. For the longest time, like express pace, we haven't had that. And it keeps you on your toes more often than not. Because I was picking up at when we played in Manchester, it's like the balls were slower coming in, then Shibi was just zipping it, and I was like, yeah. For me, it's exciting because it tests your agility as a keeper and also your reaction. She's someone, if the edge goes, if you don't go, you're gonna miss an opportunity. So I think someone like her fiery energy, you're always in the game. And I mean, she's made me chirp more because I know they iffy. So yeah, I've been sneaky behind the stones.
Well, I will tell you, you're really impressed. Former New Zealand wicketkeeper Ian Smith has been doing commentary with us. He said he loves your energy. He was very impressed by you as well because you went up to him and introduced yourself. I said, well, next time she sees you, she's probably going to give you a big hug and tell you a dad joke.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen. In terms of having that sort of knowledge sharing, going and speaking to people across the world, if it might be former players or current players, do you do that a lot? Is that important for you?
I always make it a point to greet anyone because that's how I was raised. If anything, my mom saw me walk past someone, she'd probably give me no, that's how it was bad. She'd give me hidings if I didn't greet. So obviously, even at school, it was a thing that you have to greet. And I think even now, till this day, it's never gone out. I'll always greet whomever. For me, I always find it as an opportunity. I mean, I'll go to you before games. It's one, to introduce myself, and two, to also gain knowledge. You can never stop learning, and that's why I do it, and also because I just respect each and every single person.
Well, you've shown that in your actions, you've shown it on the field as well. What do you want to do when you're done with this, though? Is there any
cricket?
Plans? Yeah,
with cricket. Funny enough, I've had an interest in psychology, so I'm studying that. But let's not forget commentary, because one day I want to share the com box with you. I feel like I'll be alright. I'll be fine.
She's already sharing the com box, just by the way, behind the stumps. We do let you go sometimes. You do some commentary.
Yeah, so us. I did SA20, and I did the domestic league in South Africa. And for me, it's the amount of knowledge I get just from one game. I remember when SA20 happened, and then Coach Mandla was like, when you go there, get as much information as you can. I was sitting next to with my Kayantini, and like sometimes I was lazy to go run, and she literally calls me, she's like, "Are you awake?" I was like, "Yo." So I had to get up and go run.
I've done gym sessions with him before.
I ran away. I haven't yet. Do not invite me. But like I've made it a point now is like I'm very, not OCD, but I'm very cautious about who I have around my circle. Because before I kind of let anyone in. Now it's like, one, who can allow me to grow and who can steer me in the right direction. I'm very big on that. And yeah, that's me. Commentary, psychology, I've realized there's not a lot of us who are athletes that come back and actually help. If anything, we come back to coach. But I do not want to coach. Honestly, I'm good, thank you. So I think studying psych, I did study it in uni. I just dropped out because of cricket. But now I'm going back, and hopefully in the future, 10, 15 years later, I can come back and help young athletes.
Yeah, we want you to stay on the field just for a little bit
No.
longer.
I spoke to the DOC, so I was like, contract chats. I was like, and he's like, no, you're good. We'll talk again later. And I was like, fine. And if anything, I'm having fun because I'm actually pouring everything I have into just being professional. I'm enjoying my running. I'm enjoying my gymming. And if anything, I look younger.
Well, you're going to have to share some secrets there. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat.
Thank you so much for having me.